2 12 by 12 layouts for you today, and I'm going to use these photos, and they're all different sizes. And so one's a 4 by 6, one's a 3 by 4, and then other ones are 4 in a collage. And so I had picked up these papers at Archivers, and I think they were Lucky Charm, and I planned to use them, but I was thinking what papers I would use as a background. So since there's a lot of pink in these photos, I thought I'd pull in some pink, and so I was looking through, and I knew I kind of wanted like a gray and pink too, so I was looking through my stash, and I found this gray striped wood grain. And my biggest challenge was trying to figure out how I was going to do these pictures, because at first I thought I was going to put them all on a layout, one layout. But then I decided to change my mind, and I was going to end up going to do two. So I'm just looking through the papers again, trying to figure out how I'm going to arrange all these photos. And then I'm kind of also looking through some of my stash for that's Project Life cut apart pages. And that's where I came up with, I found this pink today, but I end up not using it. So now I'm just kind of pulling through all my stash looking for pieces that would maybe work. And so for sure I'm going to use this wood grain, diagonal striped wood grain as a background. And I had pulled out this pink, I think it's a Dear Lizzie paper too, that's kind of a, was it, I don't know, it's like a light green, tealy green paper. So anyways, I'm cutting out this part that says, this was so awesome, because it had all the colors that I wanted to use as yellow, that green, and the pink. And that was another piece that I had in my scraps. And so that was the thing, when I started playing on my scraps, that was the thing I decided to do, was I was to challenge myself to use my scraps, because they've been piling up. I have a bad habit of just like wanting to use things once and then cutting from a 12 by 12 and throwing in my scraps and kind of forgetting about them there. So next I inked all the edges with pumice stone, I think it was. And I'm just I'm not going on any sketch. It's more of just however it feels. So I had cut this diagonal corner piece, triangle piece, corner piece, excuse me, from a wood vellum paper that has a chevron design on it. And so I'm going to put that behind the picture, the 4 by 6 picture. And so in this layout I'm just using the one 4 by 6 picture. The others I'm going to do in another layout. That's how I kind of ended up doing two layouts, because at first when I initially started this layout I thought I was going to put them all on one page, but I just couldn't make it work to fit my needs to make it that I liked. So now I'm looking through some tags that I had picked up from the store, and I knew I wanted that, but it was too long, so I trimmed it, and I'm sticking it underneath that little strip there. So then when I'm looking through, and I like this beautiful banner, but I wanted to be able to use that beautiful still and not have it hidden later on. So I'm trimming it off so I can use it at a later date. And so I'm just trying to figure out where I want to place it, and I end up deciding up there in that left corner. And now I am going to be just kind of cleaning up a little bit and looking through my scraps. And so I had that little piece that I cut off from that tag, and I'm just going to make a little banner out of it. And I'll put that up there in the top corner, on top of the other one, overlapping that banner. And again, I'm inking the edges with that pumice stone 10-point distress ink. And I thought about maybe adding this beautiful, but I just couldn't get it to work how I wanted it to, and I didn't want to have too many words. And where I'm putting it right there, I was thinking about that's where my title was going to be. So, and then I picked up these, who's that, by Hallie Edwards stamps from Technique Tuesday. And that's another thing I've been trying to challenge myself, is to use my stamps more, especially since I bought 2 new sets at the store. So inking them with some stays on, excuse me, and just to make sure, get them ready before I put it on the picture, and just kind of stamping off the excess. So now I am going to pull out some score tape. And what I'm going to do here is I'm pulling out some of my glitters, and I'm going to make an ombre effect with a pink to a silver with my glitter onto the score tape. I'm going to make it into a banner. So I'm knocking off the excess and going to dump the rest back in. And that's just some wax paper that I was using. It's just in case that score tape decided to stick and it wouldn't stick to the paper. So there's a lighter pink that has kind of a silver in it. And these are Martha Stewart glitters. I have the big packet, or like 42 or 12, I don't know how many it is. So now I'm using some more, putting the silver on there. And I really didn't know what I was going to do with this as I was making it. I just knew I wanted to add some glitter with these colors and use that score tape to make my own little glitter banner or glitter thing. At first I thought I was going to make it into little banners, but then I don't know. I didn't really know. So now I'm just kind of using some, what is that? It's, can't think of it, Aleene's paper glaze to kind of seal the glitter in so it won't be shedding all over my layout and stuff. So I'm just brushing that stuff on just very lightly, and I put it to side to dry. Now I'm going to date stamp, and I kind of regret this afterwards when I did it later, because I should have, I don't know, it's fine where it is, it's just, I kind of regret it later after I add my journaling. So now I'm going to pull out some letter stickers for my title, and it was kind of hard what I wanted to title this, because there were certain things I wanted to add to the title, but I just couldn't, I don't know, I just couldn't make it all fit. And you can see down there in the bottom corner I have what I was using as my title. I was playing it out. And I didn't want it like a long sentence, so I was kind of limiting some words from the title. But anyways, it's going to say onthecron.com leading the bunny hop. And it kind of plays into my journaling then later on. So those are some pink thickers that came in the Studio Calico March kit, I believe. And then these are some silver glitter thickers. So I'm just laying it out. I'm putting them on some wax paper before I put them down things, so I can just figure out where I want them. And I don't know why, but I pulled an N instead of an M for .com. So I know I want the bunny hop here. So for sure I start laying that down. And then I'm going to mess with put the .com, .com, and then I'm going to go searching through my stash for the smaller letter stickers. I had some pink ones that I just wasn't quite sure which ones I was going to use. So I'm trying to kind of figure out where I want the on. I didn't know if I wanted it next to the picture or if I wanted it, but I liked it over on the edge so it kind of flowed. So I ended up choosing these October Afternoon Mini Market stickers. And so that's where I'm just putting leading the bunny hop. Excuse me. So I'm just finishing adding these stickers, and I'm not going to moving them later on, because just to fit things down better. So now I'm going to add some little enamel dots, and I thought about adding some badges or this, what are those things called? The clips, but I really just wasn't feeling it, and I don't like how thick they are when you put on layouts. I thought about maybe adding some more yellow badges, because I felt I needed some more yellow in there, since I had just had it in one spot. But so I end up using it in the enamel dots. So I had pulled some washing tape thinking maybe I might add that, and then I realized, oh yeah, I have that glitter stuff that I was working in, so I was just going to wait. So now I'm going to for sure add the enamel dots, and I'm just kind of figuring out where I want them. And so I'm going to be using the yellow, the pink, and that green. And so I'm going to put them in each of the areas where I have some stuff embellished. And I'm kind of alternating between the large and the small and the different size and the different colors. So then next, I'm going to add this banner, that glitter banner that I made from score tape. And I'm trying to just figure out how I want it on there, if I want it covering or how I want the banner. And at first I thought about cutting it, and this is where I was thinking about, or maybe I'll cut it and stuff. But I really liked it underneath the title there. I thought it felt like it anchored a little bit of the title and stuff. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up cutting each corner, make little banners on each ends. And the paper glaze wasn't quite dry yet, so it was kind of made it a little difficult to cut, and then later on when I'm trying to peel off the backing. And it doesn't help that I have fake nails, and so it's kind of hard to peel things. So anyways, and then here I'm moving it over because I wanted it to fit. It just didn't quite fit underneath the bunny hop. So I'm moving it over the word bunny hop, and this is where I'll be moving it, the little stickers, after I get this peeled down on there. So I'm just trying to figure out, I don't know, I like to have things overlap, and you can see the little corners of it and stuff. I don't know, some things I'm picky about in my scrapping, and then some things it doesn't bother me. So here I am having difficulty trying to peel it, because like I said, that paper glaze was not quite dry, and I have my fake nails. So I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to kind of peel off that backing from the tape. And I finally get it. So I'm going to finally lay it down. And so I really liked how that turned out. I've done this before with that glitter and making my own little glitter tape. So, and I always like how it turns out. So here I am moving the letter stickers away, and since I have the fake nails and it's hard to peel things up, I was using my X-Acto knife to kind of peel up the corners. So let's see, I'm just keep on moving the letter stickers over. I'm sorry it's out of frame, but that's really all I'm doing is moving those letter stickers over to be closer. In which it actually worked out because they were sitting right there on the edge, and I kind of didn't like that. So I'm just gluing some stuff down that was kind of sticking up. So there I stitched, you couldn't see, I was pointing to real fast. I took it to my sewing machine and I stitched those banners at the top and up top of the picture, and then again the glitter tape. And so now I'm just using some washi tape to hold down the stitching on the back, since I did knot them or do back stitching. And I'm using the smash washi tape because the tape doesn't peel very nicely. So now I'm at my journaling, and basically I'm just talking about how I led in the bunny hop for the Houston rodeo run, and I ended up on the Houston Chronicles website. And so I think I'm just looking at the information to make sure I got things spelled correctly or information correctly down into my journal, looking up on my iPad. And so that's what I'm going to just talk about in the thing, and how we were such a big hit that we ended up, and how I led the bunny hop because I was the only one that knew how to do the bunny hop out of the group of ladies that was dressed as bunnies in tutus for the Houston rodeo. And that's what the next layout will be about, is about how my friend and some of her friends joined in dressing up in tutus and as bunnies for the Houston rodeo run for their contest, the costume contest, and how we were going around everywhere and getting our picture taken. So I know, felt like we were famous. So now I'm going to moving on to the next layout. And this one it was difficult. I just couldn't figure out how I wanted things to work on this layout. I moved paper around so much. Here I'm cutting the pictures apart, those 4x4. I did them with, on my iPhone, the pictures in the app, Pick Stitch, and then I had them developed like that. So I'm just cutting them apart here and getting rid of the white border. But going back to this, you're going to see me messing around with these papers because I just couldn't find how I liked them. And I think it was hard because of the sizes of these photos. I knew, and the the coloring just was not working. They weren't showing up. It's a big mess. But it finally worked out. And like I said, I was trying only just to use scraps besides as the background paper. And so I found this pink glitter paper. I think that's My Mind's Eye paper. Excuse me. I'm sorry for coughing. I've been sick. That's why the last couple of videos I've done have been without any narrations. I've been sick and stuff. So I'm just kind of looking to see if I wanted to photo mat this picture and whatnot. And see, I had to trim it because I had torn this paper originally. And so I thought about maybe using that heart as a mat, like not a mask, but as a negative space there. And so I'm just kind of layering the papers, deciding how I want them. And like I said, you're going to see me moving them around a lot because I just couldn't figure out how I wanted to work, since those 4x4 pictures just, they weren't working. They were kind of getting lost in the layout as I'm laying them down. And so here you can see me trying maybe backing them up onto this vellum. It came from a Studio Calico kit a couple months ago, because they were just kind of getting lost in that glitter paper. And I'm trimming this because it was not straight and it was driving me nuts because it wasn't, the photo mat was being all crazy. But I ended up not using it as a photo mat. So I'm just thinking, just fiddling around with it and trying to figure out how I want it. And I was really liking how this was going with that one picture. But like I said, it was not working with these 4 little pictures. And so then I thought maybe I'll lay in as a row in a line here and changing things around. But it's still, they were just getting lost in that glitter paper. I think it was just that glitter paper was so much that the pictures were just not showing up. So I was trying to move them closer to that other picture. There was just a big gap. It just was not working out. And the reasons why I chose these papers was because they kind of complemented the other layout. Even though in my album they're front and back, just the way it fell in my album, I still want them to kind of match but not completely match. So I knew I wanted to have some of the same colors and have glitter and so what. So here again, I'm trying to do that photo mat with the thing, and then it hits me, I really just need a cream colored paper, because like I said, I was trying to just use my scraps, and so I didn't want to have to pull out a whole new page. And I think you saw me pull out one of the papers that I had shown at the very beginning of the thing that was the striped and the cream colored, but I didn't want to use it because I thought maybe it's not a scrap. So finally I go and look. I realized I had some basic cream colored cardstock paper, and I don't mind cutting that up because it just needed to be done. So finally I'm happy with how the photo strip is coming out with those different photos, and so I thought, okay, I'll just go back to what I had and use doing the paper layering over here. So I was looking at that, so something was off. So, and then I remembered I had laid that paper down earlier across the way, and I liked how it was looking. It kind of was like a balance, the horizontal balance through all that vertical. And so here I finally decided how I wanted the papers to lay, and I was happy. It was like that aha moment, things were working. So I'm going to decide, I'm gluing things down, and I'm trying not to move them as much so they don't get all lost and confused in where they were at and I lose how I liked it. So now I'm just gluing down the papers in the way that I finally love it. And I'm doing my photo strip, gluing down the different pieces. And I'm pulling that paper because I was going to try to hide it as a, fake faux one big piece. So there you go. You see how I did that. And that ATG tape doesn't like to glue down to that glitter. So now I finally decide how I liked my photos. I'm gluing everything down. And then I thought, oh, where exactly am I going to be? I was putting the title. I was thinking down there on that cream polka dot strip that's going along the bottom. Where am I going to do my journaling? So as I'm looking, I knew I wanted to use the stamp. It says photos. Photos are, life is in these photos. Can't quite remember. You'll see it when I finally stamp it. I was looking through for some wood veneers and I found those letter stickers that I got in the Studio Calico kit. I think it was the February one. So I'm pulling out some wood veneers I wanted to use. And I'm just kind of trying to figure out where am I going to put my embellishments, where am I going to do my journaling, and where am I going to put my title. That's sometimes something that I always screw myself up on because I don't think about those times. And so I was trying to really make sure I focus on where am I going to do my journaling and where am I going to put my title, because I have that glitter paper. You can't write on it. You can do the letter journaling, but I mean, just the way how I am, I always have to think. I had to think about it. So here I'm thinking about where I'm going to stamp this stamp. So I finally decided up there in that top corner, and then I wanted to put that arrow underneath it as to balance it. So here I am stamping, and I'm just going to test it onto white paper, a scrap paper, and it says something about this is the photos, or I love these photos, or something like that. It's an Ali Edwards stamp that I picked up, and so I went with the arrows. And knew I wanted to have stamps about photos because they're just, that was the big thing about that week. It was that day photos were taken every 5 seconds pretty much. So I wanted to add some more wood veneer arrows on there to complement the other embellishments. And I love arrows too, so that's one of my favorite embellishments is arrows. So now I'm going to pull out some wood veneers to add to it, and I'm just doing 2 around the arrows. I'm just doing the different sizes. So I thought about putting it right there on top, but then I end up moving them to the end of the arrow. And you'll see when it gets back into frame. So now I am going to be pulling out my title, and the title is going to be called Tutus and Bunnies, because that's what this was all about. These pictures about how we were dressed up as bunnies and we were in these pink tutus that I had to make. That was not fun to make because there was glitter everywhere in my room. So I'm just trying to look for the letters for bunnies. It's the only thing I don't like about these letters tiles that we got in the Studio Calico kit. They're not in a nice little set row that you can just pop out the wood chip. You have to search through them. But anyways, I do like that they have the paper backing, so you can peel them and before you can test them out and then peel it off before you lay them down. So here I'm just putting the title down, and they're a cream with a pink line inside of them. I mean, they're outlined in cream with a pink line. So here I'm finally putting down placing the title. And then next, I believe I'm going to add my journaling. So I'm adding it to that little pink that's over there on the side, and I'm going to go a little bit into that green and white polka dot paper. So I'm just journaling about how we had to dress up in tutus and as bunnies, and that our pictures were taken everywhere we went. I mean, literally, it was like every 5 seconds people were taking our pictures were being taken. People were asking to take our pictures. I mean, I felt like we were famous and stuff. So just keep journaling. I'm journaling about who we took our pictures with. And then I'm going to make a bobo. I'm going to mess up in my writing. I had to go look because I was like, this does not look right. So I was looking up some information and I realized I spelt it wrong. The information I was writing down was wrong. So I'm going to scratch it out, but later on I'll fix it up. I'll find some little asterisks that were in those letter stickers, those letter titles over there. And I'm going to kind of cover up the scratch marks because I just saw, and you can just see those scratch marks just like pop out because they're so dark. And so I had to do something to kind of cover it up. So there you go. You see me putting those little asterisks over it. So now I knew that other corner right there underneath that other arrow needed something to black to pull in that triangle effect. So I found that little, I had that little camera stamp that came with this Ellie Edwards stamps about photos. So I stamped that there. And then that's it. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.